Olori Naomi, a disappointment to the throne of Ile-Ife. Some villagers murmurs, the Oloris murmurs. The elders of the land got angry as they moved towards the palace, totally disappointed at Olori Naomi. My people, it has been recorded first in history that Olori Naomi has disappointed the people of Ile-Ife, as none of them shows happiness. Every of them shows some atom of sadness and angry, all of them calling her names for doing this kind of thing to Ile-Ife kingdom. We could recall that recently they said there would be a cook for the gods festival, right? That Queen Naomi is meant to cook with the co-wives. Now I'm beginning to realize why Queen Naomi said no. Queen Naomi said no not just because she was asked to cook in the shrine. She didn't say no not just because she wants to disobey the gods. That is, if it is the gods that called for this, because I don't think if it's really the gods that called for this, I don't think the gods would have included that Olori Naomi should cook with the Oloris. Now we are hearing that Olori Naomi was asked to do a cook for the gods ritual, a cook for the gods ceremony, whereby Queen Naomi would be demanded that she would cook for the gods, and in appreciation for everything they have been doing for her, right? All the protection, or in fact above all, for choosing her to be the Yeyelua of the source amongst all other women. And then after we heard that information, they said Queen Naomi was confused as to whether to go and do it or not, because they said she thought upon herself, like, why would the court ask her to go to the shrine when they know very well that she detests, that she won't be going. In fact, they have known right from time, even before Kabiyesi married her, even before they chose her to be the queen of Ile-Ife. They know that she is not a person who can go to the shrine. On several occasions, it has been reported that she has never ever agreed. Whatever that will take her to the shrine, she despises it. Whatever that will take her to the shrine, she doesn't want it, my people. And that is how it has been going for now. But then Olori Naomi is not as stubborn as people might think. Come to think of it, if it's really the gods who called her to do that, would they be requesting that the elders and the Oloris together should go to her house? Because we heard that if she refused to come to the shrine to do that the gods requested that the elders and the Oloris will now go to her house for her to do the cooking and serve them. So it's either any of them, she will choose the one that is okay for her. That because they needed that cook for the gods festival, just to appreciate that. They said, if a priest said, according to what we are hearing, that the gods are demanding this by themselves, and they needed Olori Naomi to do it ASAP. So that's in order that, because they know that Queen Naomi might not want to do that, might not want to come to the shrine to cook. They said Queen Naomi is going to cook with the Oloris, but she will be the head cooker. The Oloris will just be there, looking at her, singing, while she does a lot of all the whole things, starting from peeling the 20 tubers of yam, to buying the 2 ram by herself, to roasting it, to cutting it, to cooking it. Hey, what kind of... They said even Kabiyesi volunteered that he is going to help, or rather he should bring people who are going to help her, because Kabiyesi does not like to stress Olori Naomi. Why we begin to suspect that this is not the court who actually said something like that, was when they begin to ask that they should, the Oloris and the elders, some of the considered chief of Kabiyesi, should go, that they will go to Queen Naomi's house for Queen Naomi to cook for them to eat in presenting the court, or Queen Naomi should go to the shrine. So they already know that they are just looking for a way. That is where we know that these people might have manipulated something. Now, will the court suffer a pregnant woman like that? If truly the courts love Olori Naomi, if truly they protect her, if truly they gave her the crown, if truly they put her in the position that she is, my people, I ask again, do you think they will subject her to such a suffering just because they want a cook for the court's festival? They want Queen Naomi to cook for them. And it's not as if it's them that will eat. It's still this the elders of the land that will eat it, and the Oloris. So have you seen that this is a lie from the pit of hell? Because I am beginning to reason it. Yes, I'm going to bring more updates for you, but before I heard this, when I heard this, I said no, it can never be the courts. The courts can never forsake its own. The courts can never, if truly they exist, they can never, if truly they love Olori Naomi as they say they exist and they love Olori Naomi, fine. If anybody love someone, the person wouldn't want to make this person suffer. We don't want you to stress yourself much, right? Am I making sense? So that is what it's supposed to be. If true say, Queen Naomi is the apple of Kabiyesi's eye and the courts love her so much, will the courts now subject a pregnant woman to doing all those things by herself? That is where we know that these women are trying so hard. They want to manipulate Kabiyesi to believing that, and through the Ifa priests. I told you people, it's not all those Ifa priests. They are working hand in hand. The worst part is that if they catch this one, another one will be manipulated again. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. They want Olori Naomi's baby to shift. That is why they want to subject her to hard labor. Imagine a pregnant woman cutting 22 bars of yarn alone. And not only that, then she will now buy the ram alone, two big one. Now roast it alone, pieces it alone, still cook it with the yam alone, and now serve them too. Which strength will Olori Naomi use and do this thing? Tell me. Alone, no help. And they are telling us that it's the courts that demand. These people can lie. It is not done that way. It can never. Well, I don't know the courts. I don't know if they exist or not, but if they truly exist and they claim they love this woman, I bet you, my people, this message is not coming from the courts. It is these Oloris and these elders and Ifa priests that have come together to try to manipulate Kabiyesi. But Queen Naomi is wiser than them. What did they even say that will happen to Queen Naomi? That if she does not obey the courts, that she's going to suffer the consequences, that the baby will be taken away from her, the pregnancy, and they will return her to something that Kabiyesi will not appreciate. That is a threatening condition. Because I don't understand. Do you understand it? The courts of the land asking Queen Naomi for this. My people, it is not done. I keep saying it and over and over and over again. It is not. So you have seen that Olori Naomi is bigger and wiser than these people, because they think they will use Olori Naomi's head. For crying out loud, how could they form this lie against the courts? And will the courts just keep quiet? Will they just keep quiet and be looking at these people doing all sorts of things with their name? saying what he's not supposed to say. One thing is that these people do not learn. I don't know whether it's because these Oloris are still under Kabiyesi, and as such their atrocities are not counted until they leave. So they want to maximize it. They want to maximize the use. Yes, they want to now continue doing what they are doing. That is their plan. Right? Well, they are going to, that thing they are looking for, of course they are going to get it. They are going to find what they are looking for. And when they find it, they shouldn't cry. When they find that thing they are looking for, they shouldn't cry. They shouldn't blame Kabiyesi for being a wicked person, because it is them who started it. So based on what we dey hear, Olori Naomi took to the hill. So Olori Naomi say lie, she is not going to. They almost say, these people, they almost got Kabiyesi. Kabiyesi almost succumbed. You know, anything that has to do with the courts, Kabiyesi does not joke with it. Kabiyesi told Naomi, if that is what they asked you to do, then try and do for them, because the courts are aware of you, and they, at least, demanding for your appreciation is not a bad one. So, but when Naomi told Kabiyesi, according to what we heard, that is not going to happen. She is not going to do that, because the courts cannot. They said Naomi told her, even if it's the courts that asks her to do that, they will not succumb her to so much labor with her condition. Do you get? So that is what Queen Naomi said, and I think Queen Naomi is making sense. The courts cannot succumb her to too much labor just because they want her to appreciate. You understand? So it's clearly is showing that it is these Oloris, right? It is them who plotted this thing, and I'm sure that, you see, as they planned this thing, they have failed both spiritually and physically, because Queen Naomi is wiser than them. Queen Naomi is not Kabiyesi who will just accept like that, because anything that concerns the gods, because they were thinking that, immediately they mentioned the gods, that Kabiyesi will tell Queen Naomi, please, you need to go, don't miss it. Or if Queen Naomi try to miss it, it will bring problem between Queen Naomi and Kabiyesi, because anything that concerns the gods, Kabiyesi does not joke with it, right? Because he is the first son of the poor and would always want to obey what the gods have said. So like that, Queen Naomi take run away from that plan, and that is why we heard they were murmuring, and a lot of people were calling Queen Naomi names. A lot of people say she does not care, that she does not do for who does for her. So my people, I'm going to be bringing you more updates. You drop your comments. Please kindly subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget that all these are alleged and speculated information making waves on the social media and should not be regarded as facts. Thank you.